Part 35. Super God System Becomes Infinitely Stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 341. Chu Wei returned to the land. Not long after walking out of the beach, Chu Wei saw a beautiful figure on a large reef in the distance, looking out at the sea. She was tall, with a high ponytail tied behind her head, and the wind from the beach made her bangs sway gently. Originally this was a sunny girl, but today there was a little worry on her fair and beautiful face. It was not until she saw Chu Wei returning from the beach that she showed a bright smile. Just like this moment, the person who was worried and waiting in her heart finally returned safely. It was Sumomo. Chu Wei, you guy, you came alone without saying a word. Do you know how worried people are about you? Sumomo came to Chu Wei and threw himself into Chu Wei's arms without saying anything. Chu Wei was slightly stunned and didn't know what to say. Looking at Sumomo in his arms and feeling the fragrance coming from the other person, Chu Wei could feel that when he was under the sea just now, someone was silently caring about him. Hey, Chu Wei, did you really see the nine-headed monster that injured my grandfather in the sea? On the way back, Sumomo asked curiously after listening to Chu Wei's underwater adventure story. Of course, one shot killed it. But I heard from my grandfather that the nine-headed monster was at the level of a great awakener. How did you kill it? Sumomo was very surprised. It was too pretentious, so it was struck by lightning, and I sent it to the west, Chu Wei said lightly. Tisk, in the end, you must have killed it by being clever. Although Sumomo said disdainfully, her eyes were full of smiles. No one would kill such a powerful nine-headed monster at the level of a great awakener for no reason. Although Chu Wei said it lightly, it is very likely to help her revenge. After all, she once told Chu Wei that if she had the strength, she would seek revenge on the nine-headed monster. Thinking of this, Sumomo felt warm in her heart. Hey, Chu Wei, do you think the spaceship on the bottom of the sea is really from aliens? Sumomo asked curiously again. Yeah. Chu Wei nodded very confidently. With everything he had seen today, it was impossible for the Earth to build such a high-tech spaceship 500 years ago. Because this spaceship came from a sci-fi star, an unknown galaxy with 3 suns. However, Chu Wei asked Sumomo to keep what he heard today confidential. Sumomo smiled and said, of course I know, you think I'm a fool, really? This spaceship is equivalent to a treasure palace, but anyone who knows it probably doesn't want to tell it out. Let's go. Take you to a fun place. Sumomo suddenly took Chu Wei's hand and walked away. Chu Wei was slightly stunned. Whether it was 500 years on Earth or in this era, it was the first time that Chu Wei was held by a girl's hand. A strange feeling spread in his heart. The other person's hand was so soft and warm, just like cotton, which made Chu Wei feel so comfortable. The two returned to Linhai City together and went to a place like a private club. As soon as I arrived at the entrance of the club, I could see rows of spiritual sports cars parked at the entrance. I thought that the people in the club must be well-known people in Linhai City. Of course, with the status of the Suk family in Linhai City, those who can be related to the Suk family and be together are naturally the upper-class people in Linhai City. Super God System Becomes Infinitely Stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 342. Entering the club, it was obvious that Sumomo was the VIP here. It turned out that today was a private cocktail party, and the organizer was also a well-known young man in Linhai City. There were hundreds of people at the cocktail party, all of whom were celebrities, chatting and laughing in the club. Look, Miss Sumomo is here. Really, Miss Sumomo is getting more and more beautiful. Seeing her is like seeing the feeling of first love. Come on, are you worthy of her? When Sumomo entered the cocktail party, she immediately became the focus of hundreds of people. After all, the eldest daughter of the Suk family, no matter where she walked in Linhai City, she was the focus. And today, Sumomo wore a fairy dress, looking full of fairy spirit, just like a real fairy. Oh my god, who is this boy? I have never seen him before. Why is Miss Sumomo still holding his hand? Someone noticed Chu Wei. Is this guy Sumomo's boyfriend? Although he is handsome, is he worthy of Miss Sumomo? Someone nearby looked at the person who was speaking with disdain and said, "You know nothing, do you know who the person next to Sumomo is? His name is Chu Wei, do you know Chu Wei who beat up all the geniuses of the Lu family? You have no knowledge." Although the person who asked the question before was ridiculed, he was excited. He is Chu Wei. Can he defeat Chu Wei at the level 5 of the Awakener with the level 3 Awakener? Oh my god, he is my idol. Idols are really extraordinary, and they are a good match for Miss Sumomo. In the eyes of everyone, the organizer of today's cocktail party, Wen Xiao, walked quickly to Sumomo and Chu Wei. It turns out that Miss Su and Mr. Chu are here. I didn't welcome them from afar. I am sorry for not entertaining them well. Wen Xiao was dressed in a formal suit and looked polite. He was also very respectful to Chu Wei. After both parties nodded and greeted each other, Sumomo and Chu Wei came to a corner and picked up some snacks to eat. Chu Wei also noticed Wen Xiao, who greeted him just now. He was about 18 years old and had the strength of an awakener. Among the young generation in Linhai City, he was also very outstanding. Of course, his family was quite huge in Linhai City. It was said that the hotels, clothing, elixirs, and other industries in Linhai City were all his family's industries. It can be said that in Linhai City, apart from the Su family, the Wen family was the largest. However, even such a young man from a big family did not put on airs when he saw Chu Wei just now. On the contrary, he was a little humble. Because based on the strength Chu Wei showed in the Su family a few days ago, even the head of the Wen family had to entertain him well, not to mention him, a young master. Hey, cocktail parties are usually for socializing and dancing. Why are you eating all the time? Sumomo looked at Chu Wei and said. You have to know that people in the upper class have the habits of the upper class. The so-called cocktail party is a place for intersection. To put it bluntly, it is a place where you curry favor with me and I curry favor with you. People who come here are dancing, drinking high-end red wine, and trying to show that they have taste and strength, so that they can be respected by others. I'm hungry, is there anything wrong with eating? Chu Wei directly retorted. He went to the bottom of the sea early this morning and didn't have breakfast, so he was naturally hungry. Besides, who here needs Chu Wei to curry favor with him? There is no need to care about other people's eyes. Because I, Chu Wei, am strong enough. Hey, sisters, take a look, that Chu Wei is quite stylish, a girl who has been following Chu Wei for a long time said across the cocktail party. This girl is about 18 or 19 years old, her face is a bit like an internet celebrity, and she is wearing a sexy long skirt. At first glance, she is the kind of girl that countless men pursue. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 343. There were several girls next to her, all of them were pretty, some were cute, some were queens. In short, when these girls were together, I don't know how many men looked at them secretly at the party. It can be imagined that they were very charming. Sister Ni, are you interested in this Chu Wei? I heard from others that he is a genius. The genius we used to think of is just like a fool in his hands. He was beaten down in 2 hits. Such a little brother, handsome and good at fighting, who doesn't like him? Sister Ni, don't you think so? He, that's right, several sisters around started to make a noise. What a pity, the beauty has already been taken, Sister Ni looked at Sumomo next to Chu Wei, and there was some jealousy in her eyes. If she could be with Chu Wei, then she would be at the top of the entire Linhai City upper-class society. This of course made her envious and jealous of Sumomo. "Brother Chu, you're here." In the eyes of several girls, a young man in a suit and holding red wine came to Chu Wei to say hello. The high-end suit and handsome face of this young man alone made several girls look at him sideways. This is a young talent that makes girls' hearts beat. This person is none other than Su Ming from the Su family. "Yeah," Chu Wei nodded. "Come on, brother Chu, I toast you. If it weren't for you this time, my Su family would have lost face. And the important thing is that you beat Lu Hu's thing well and avenged me." Su Ming drank the wine in his hand. Chu Wei smiled and said, "It's a small matter. If he dares to come again in the future, I will beat him." "Ha ha ha, brother Chu is domineering." Su Ming chatted for a while, got up and left. He was seriously injured by Lu Hu a few days ago, and it can be said that he suffered some internal injuries. For spiritual practitioners, if they only suffer some external injuries or knife wounds, it's actually nothing, because the spiritual energy in the body will automatically repair these injuries. But if it is an internal injury, it will be a bit difficult. Because internal injuries are usually caused by the enemy's spiritual energy or the enemy's supernatural power, this kind of injury needs to be recuperated for a period of time before it can be cured. And especially the internal injuries caused by supernatural power, this kind of injury needs more conditioning, and sometimes special elixirs are needed, just like the first master of Linhai City, Su Ding. He was poisoned by supernatural power and suffered internal injuries. So his strength has not been improved over the years. After Su Ming left, many people came to greet Chu Wei respectfully, both men and women. "Brother Chu, I toast you too." "Brother Chu, I come to toast you too." Chu Wei dealt with it casually on the surface, but in his heart, because of the boredom of the cocktail party, he remembered the last prompt on the screen of the spaceship. There was the whereabouts of another alien spaceship on it. Under Chu Wei's research, Chu Wei found that the place where the last pattern on the spaceship was prompted should be Bianchan City, a few days away from Linhai City to the west. At this moment, in the Bianchan City indicated on Chu Wei's map, there is a huge rock canyon. This rock canyon is like a sunken basin, with a deep depression in the center and the surrounding rocks standing tall like walls. From a distance, it looks a bit like a bird's nest. Teams of black guards wearing black armor surrounded the entire rock canyon of Bianchan City, which is tens of thousands of meters long. The guards held spiritual rifles and were all alert, as if something earth-shattering was happening here. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 344. On the rock wall at the bottom of the canyon, there is a huge hole. This hole is not naturally formed, but a hole opened intentionally as if someone was digging for treasure. There is a heavy guard at the entrance of the cave, and the guards are looking back and forth to observe the surroundings. Anyone who wants to force their way into the cave will be killed mercilessly by them. Looking inside along the entrance of the cave, I saw that after passing through a long passage, in a large mountain, a round spaceship that was much larger than several football fields combined appeared in the mountain. The spaceship is a large round biscuit as a whole, but the center is hollow. It was almost exactly the same as the alien spacecraft Chu Wei saw on the bottom of the sea. However, the door of this alien spacecraft has been opened. Not only that, there are also many white armors being moved out by guards from inside. This white armor is very different from ordinary armor. It is a whole armor, that is, the helmet and clothes are connected together. If you place the armor alone and look at it from a distance, the armor looks like a robot. But it is possible to open the surface of the armor and let people enter the armor to override it. At this moment, at the door of the spacecraft, there was a young man with an imposing appearance who was watching the guards carrying out the white armor one by one. This young man is dressed in exquisite clothes, and he looks very noble at first glance. He is definitely not an ordinary person. Opposite the young man was a middle-aged man with a long scar on the corner of his mouth. From a distance, it looked as if his mouth was broken. Moreover, his eyes naturally reveal a fierce look from time to time, and he is a ruthless character at first glance. If anyone from Bianchan City saw this middle-aged man here, they would definitely exclaim in fear, "City Lord Baitu." This man is the Supreme Master of Bianchan City, the City Master Baitu, whose strength has already entered the realm of the Great Awakener. However, when facing the young man across from him, the Supreme Ruler of Bianchan City showed no airs about the City Lord at all. Not only that, he looked respectful, as if the young man in front of him was more superior than him. "Prince Mo, this time we got tens of thousands of white armors in total," Baitu reported respectfully. Shock! 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 This young man who commanded the utmost respect from City Lord Baitu turned out to be Mo Jingxian from the Tianlin Palace. This is the great devil of the Imperial Capital Academy. Mo Jingxian nodded with a gentle smile. "You did a good job, City Master Bai. Thank you for the compliment, Mr. Mo. We got these armors this time. If we equip them all on the guards, we can create tens of thousands of powerful soldiers in the awakened realm in an instant." While Baitu was reporting, he was also frightened. He had created tens of thousands of powerful soldiers in the realm of awakened beings. What was the concept? It can be said that with such a guard, it is completely possible to attack Bianchan City where he is located. You can completely rely on this guard to become a powerful force. The harvest this time is indeed good, and it's not in vain that my father asked me to go there in person. Mo Jingxian squeezed his hand gently and continued. "Now the spacecraft has opened 2/3 of the room, you have to open the remaining 1/3. Baitu immediately said, "Don't worry, Prince Mo, we will definitely speed up. It is expected that we will open the last room of the spacecraft in the next few days. By then, what I want is not an estimate, but a certainty. I don't have that much time to spend in a place like Bianchan City. So after a week, you must open all the rooms in the spaceship and find all the available resources and treasures. Do you understand?" Although Mo Jingxuan's tone was still gentle, there was a strong oppression in his words. Just like his words can only be followed and cannot be refuted. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 345. Baitu glanced at Mo Jingxian and looked at the other person's gentle smile. The city lord who had reached the realm of the Great Awakener actually felt a hint of threatening chill. "Don't worry, little Prince Mo, my subordinates will definitely do it," Baitu promised. "Very good. I'll wait for your good news in 7 days." Mo Jingxian left. Baitu looked at Mo Jingxuan's back and let out a long breath. This Mo Jingxian was terrifying. Not only because he is the young prince of Tianlin Palace, but also because the other party's own strength is superior to his own. Thinking that he was the master of Baitu Tang Tang, a master of the Great Awakened Realm who had practiced for decades, but he thought he was inferior to a 20-year-old Mo Jingxian. "Hey," Baitu sighed, "maybe this is fate. He is born to be a little prince, so his talent is naturally better than others." In the club in Linhai City. At the cocktail party, another handsome young man came to Chu Wei to toast. This young man is none other than Sushi, who is known as the #1 genius of the Su family. "Chu Wei, I really want to thank you this time. Otherwise, my grandfather's 70th birthday will be ruined. This is the first thing. I thank you and give you a toast." Sushi drank his wine in one gulp, looking very bold. Then Sushi poured himself another glass, and said, "Then I'm going to drink 3 glasses in a row. I want to apologize for my dad's behavior towards you before." Sushi drank another drink one after another. People around the cocktail party watched silently, knowing that sushi had always been praised highly on such occasions before. No one has ever seen him apologize in front of so many people. Chu Wei looked at Sushi. Sushi and Sufeng could be said to be completely different people, not like a father and son at all. Because Sufeng was very jealous, while Sushi was very generous. Just now, Sushi was able to apologize to his father and Chu Wei in front of so many people. With such demeanor, I'm afraid no one at the scene could compare. Just when Sushi was about to pour the third glass of wine, Chu Wei reached out and stopped him. "Senior Sushi, you're welcome. Your dad and I just had a small holiday, but everything is fine. Besides, it's none of Senior Sushi's business, and I'm not angry either," Chu Wei said. Since the other party gives him face like this, he will not embarrass the other party. "Great, great, we will all be good friends from now on," Sumomo next to her clapped her hands happily. Yes, yes, we are all friends," Wen Xiao, the organizer next to him, immediately followed. When he said this, other Linhai City celebrities at the scene naturally started to say the same thing, "We are all friends, we are all friends." Who wouldn't want to be friends with the Su family and a strong person like Chu Wei? "Come here, bring out all the good wine that I have collected for many years. Everyone will not come home until they are drunk today." "Yes, yes, yes, you won't come back until you're drunk. You must have fun today. Be with brother Chu well." The atmosphere of the entire cocktail party immediately became high. There was music, dancing, communication, and magic tricks performed by pickup girls. In short, the entire club and the drinking party for hundreds of people started to light up. The next day, early in the morning, Chu Wei went to find Suding. Chu Wei went to Suding because of the poison in Suding's body. Chu Wei has now obtained the poisonous power of the nine-headed dragon. Chu Wei feels that relying on his own power, he should be able to draw the poison out of Suding's body. "Little friend Chu Wei, can you really heal my injury?" Suding's tone was full of excitement. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 346. He had been injured for more than 10 years and had long been in despair. Chu Wei's move to treat his injury at this moment really made him happy and afraid. What made him happy was that he saw hope again. What he was afraid of was that if he couldn't be cured, he would be disappointed again. In Suding's luxurious room, the people of the Su family were anxiously looking forward to it. If Suding's injury could be cured, it would be a great thing for the Su family. Maybe after Suding's injury healed, his strength could be further improved. If this is really the case, then from now on, not to mention Linhai City, even the Lu family in the nearby Jushi city will have to take a detour when they see the Su family. "Are you sure, Chu Wei?" Su Yi asked nervously. "Chu Wei, if you can cure my dad, I, Su Feng, will thank you for the rest of my life." "Can Chu Wei really cure my grandpa?" Sumomo also looked expectant. "Chu Wei. Come on, Chu Wei. No matter what the result is, I, Sushi, thank you for treating my grandfather. I will never forget your kindness. Sushi is worthy of being the future head of the Su family." He clearly distinguished between gratitude and resentment when speaking. Just when there was some noise in the room, Suding said, "Okay, all of you go out. Don't ask so many questions. I have been injured for so many years. It doesn't matter if it can't be cured, Chu Wei, you don't have to feel any pressure. Even if it can't be cured, I, Suding, can still live." Listening to the words of the Lord of Linhai City, Chu Wei still admired the Lord's free and easy attitude. He didn't care about success or failure. Just come. After hearing Suding's words, the people of the Su family left the room one by one, but when they left, They couldn't help but look at Chu Wei, because today's success or failure and hope all depended on this young man. After everyone left, Chu Wei said calmly, "Don't worry, Grandpa Su, a mere poison power can't bother me." After Chu Wei's voice fell, one hand was already on Suding's abdomen. By injecting his own spiritual energy into Suding's abdomen, Chu Wei could see the situation of Suding's abdomen in a short time. There was some black liquid in Suding's abdomen and blood, which was the poison power that the nine-headed dragon injected into Suding's body more than 10 years ago. This poison power is very corrosive and toxic. As long as a little bit of it is injected into the body, the General Awakener will immediately die of poison. And Suding was able to hold on for so many years, completely relying on his strength as a master of the Great Awakening realm to forcibly suppress this poison. It must be said that Suding's strength is still very strong. However, now this liquid and the poison power in Chu Wei's body are of the same origin. So when Chu Wei added a little poison power to the spiritual energy and entered Suding's abdomen, the poison power originally in Suding's abdomen immediately sensed that its little friend who was supporting it had come. All gathered towards Chu Wei's palm. When all the poisonous energy remaining in Suding's body gathered, Chu Wei closed his palm and all the poisonous energy left Suding's body. Huh! Suding immediately let out a long breath, and he immediately felt that the spiritual energy in his body was much more comfortable, and his face immediately became a little rosy. "Okay, Grandpa Su, the poisonous energy in your body has been completely cleared, and you are completely cured." Suding immediately became excited, and his body trembled a little. "Really? More real than pearls?" Chu Wei smiled faintly. Suding immediately circulated his own spiritual energy, and sure enough, the venom that had tortured him for more than 10 years was gone. "God, it seems that I must have done a lot of good things in my previous life, so you sent this godlike Chu Wei to save me from the torment of illness. I don't know how to thank you." Suding looked at Chu Wei, and was a little incoherent with excitement. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 347. Thinking of him, Suding, the lord of a city, if he hadn't been really excited to a certain extent, this situation wouldn't have happened. It can only be said that Chu Wei gave him such a big surprise this time, so big that he didn't know how to repay him. After his body recovered, his inability to improve his spiritual cultivation would definitely improve. He would start the road to becoming stronger again, and his life would have hope of becoming stronger again. And the descendants of the Su family who were just outside the room heard Suding's excited voice and entered the room together. "Dad, are you okay?" Su Yi's rough voice shook the whole room. Obviously he was also very excited. Although all the other people in the Su family didn't shout, it can be seen from their faces that they were also very excited. "Is the venom that tortured my father for so long really cured?" "Yes, it's all cured. It was all cured by Chu Wei. Suding has now regained the calmness that the head of the family should have." That's great, Dad, you're finally cured." "Woo woo woo. Grandpa, you're finally cured." The people of the Su family were all overjoyed, and some even cried. Okay, stop crying and be quiet." Suding waved his hand and stood up from the bed in the room. Then he said loudly and majestically, "All the people of the Su family, kneel down and thank Chu Wei." Suding was about to kneel down. This is the greatest respect of the Su family. If it weren't for Chu Wei, Suding might not live for more than 10 years because of the poison in his body. However, if the younger generation of the Su family has not grown up and reached the realm of the Great Awakener after 10 years, the entire Su family may decline because of this. Because as long as Suding dies, the Lu family, who have a grudge against the Su family, will definitely take the opportunity to destroy the entire Su family. So Chu Wei not only saved Suding today, but also the entire Su family. Chu Wei was quick-witted and supported Suding, but Chu Wei couldn't support the other people of the Su family, except Suding. All the Su family members knelt down in front of Chu Wei. "Thank you, Chu Wei, for your kindness. No one in the Su family will forget this kindness in their lifetime." Seeing so many people kneeling down, Chu Wei could only sigh helplessly. Who made him do such a good thing? Ding. The host saved another family and was rewarded with a spiritual energy value of 10 billion. The current spiritual energy value is 10.5 billion/128 billion, and the current awakener is at level 5. When the Su family members stood up, Suding took Chu Wei's hand and said, "Chu Wei, you are really a genius in the world." Chu Wei was slightly stunned. This old man was already on the road of praising himself and couldn't stop. "When you were treating me just now, I felt that Chu Wei's realm had reached the awakener level 5. The speed of your spiritual cultivation really made me admire you from the bottom of my heart." As soon as Suding's words came out, the entire Su family was almost petrified. "Oh my God, Suding actually said that Chu Wei has now reached the 5th level of awakening. This. Everyone knows that when Chu Wei fought Lu Qingshan a few days ago, he was only at the 3rd level of awakening, but in just a few days, Chu Wei has reached the 5th level of awakening. Such a speed of spiritual cultivation is not only unheard of, but also simply astonishing." Looking at the almost petrified Su family members around him, Suding shook his head helplessly. "Chu Wei is too outstanding. Not only is there no one in the Su family who can compare to him, I am afraid that no one in the entire United Nations can be better than Chu Wei. He may be the most dazzling star among the young people of this era in the United Nations." Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 348. In the next 2 days, the entire Su family, including the entire Linhai city, was in an atmosphere of great joy, because the Su family hosted banquets for the entire city for 3 days. The entire Linhai city was almost a carnival. But just 2 days after the carnival, Chu bid farewell to Sumomo and left the Su family and Linhai city. Chu Wei set off to Bianshan city to find the whereabouts of another spacecraft. Of course, Chu Wei was not looking for aliens, but for the resources on the alien spacecraft. This time Chu Wei obtained several 4th-level materials, as well as various resources such as barrel glass from the spaceship in Linhai city. If you practice this in a school, I'm afraid you won't be able to obtain these resources even after graduating from the school. So the academy is just a place to gain knowledge. If you want to become stronger, you have to go outside. Just look at the difference between another spaceship and the spacecraft you have explored. Hurry up and report to the city lord that the guy named Chu Wei finally came out of Linhai city, and he's the only one. Chu Wei had just come out of Linhai city. At the gate of the city, there were 2 men wearing black clothes and sunglasses who secretly looked at Chu Wei. "Well, I'm on the phone, you stare at this kid has no idea how high the sky is and he dares to offend our Lu family. After he leaves Linhai city this time, without the protection of the Su family, it depends on how this kid dies." One of the men in black took out his mobile phone as he spoke. After the phone was connected, Lu Tong's cold voice came from the other side, "Keep an eye on this kid. If you lose him, I'll skin you." "Yes. Yes. City Lord, don't worry." The man in black trembled in fear. Lu Tong was famous for his ruthlessness. When killing someone, he would first cut off his hands and feet, gouge out his eyeballs, and then torture him severely. This really makes life worse than death. Humph. Chu Wei, right? A genius, right? When you fall into my hands, Lu Tong, I will make you regret your life. As the resentful voice fell, there was only a blind beeping tone on the other end of the phone. Call. The man in black took a long breath after hanging up the phone, fearing that Lu Tong would be unhappy if he went back. "Go, follow him." The 2 men in black slowly approached Chu Wei and followed him from a distance. At this moment, Chu Wei's eyes glanced towards the man in black as if unintentionally. This sight frightened the two men in black and immediately looked away. Chu Wei, who was in the distance, smiled and said, "It seems that some blind things are coming to attack me again." Chu Wei in the distance got into a spiritual energy taxi and headed towards Bianshan City. When the two men in black saw this, they immediately got into their own commercial car next to them and followed. The taxi left Linhai City. Outside Linhai City was a vast plain with many wheat, rice fields, and other products. This kind of rural scene almost made Chu Wei think he had returned to 500 years ago. In the 500th year of the earth, every time Chu Wei returned to his hometown in the countryside, he would see crops such as wheat and farmers growing on the land outside his grandmother's house. Of course, in this era of spiritual energy, although there are many crops here, there is not a single family around. If it were the earth 500 years ago, there would definitely be many farmers' houses around the crops. But not in this era, because places that are not protected by city walls are generally not inhabited by humans, because mutant beasts often haunt these places. Therefore, people who grow these crops plant them during the day and then go to the city at night. They definitely do not spend the night outside. Of course, if you see someone wandering around in a sparsely populated place at night, then this person must be a master of spiritual cultivation. After driving for half a day, the taxi came to a remote mountain road. Brake. The taxi that Chu Wei was sitting in suddenly braked suddenly, and the entire rear of the car almost tilted up. It turned out that when the driver was turning a corner, a black business car suddenly appeared in front of him. This black business car seemed to have been parked here for some time, as if it was waiting for something. What the hell, what kind of dog is this? How can you drive without eyes? Do you want to die together? The taxi driver carrying Chu Wei got out of the car angrily. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God system becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shuxiang ZK. Chapter 349. Which bastard is this? How can he drive? Do you want to die together? The taxi driver carrying Chu Wei got out of the car angrily. He came to the commercial vehicle and wanted to argue with the people inside. I tell you, people like you who drive are killing people, do you know? However, the next second, a black spiritual pistol stretched out from the glass on the side of the commercial vehicle. The driver was stunned. Bang, a bullet was fired from the spiritual pistol and hit the driver's head directly. If this shot hit, the driver would definitely die. And the person who fired the gun obviously did not intend to let the driver go. Suddenly, Chu Wei came to the driver as fast as a shadow, pulled the driver to avoid the bullet, and punched him at the same time. The fist hit the front of the other commercial vehicle, and the front of the car was instantly dented. At the same time, the whole commercial vehicle was hit and flew backwards. Humph. Someone in the flying commercial vehicle snorted coldly, and a huge spiritual energy pressed on the top of the commercial vehicle like a cloud, and the flying commercial vehicle stopped immediately. When the commercial vehicle landed, the taxi driver, who was still in shock, came to his senses. He turned his head to look at the figure who had just saved him, and it turned out to be the young student in his taxi. The driver looked at the black commercial vehicle in the distance. Although the commercial vehicle had stopped at this moment, the dented front of the car made the driver horrified. Is this young student a monster? An ordinary punch made the front of the car look like this. The spiritual energy cars of this era are strictly manufactured, and their hardness cannot be smashed even by ordinary mutant beasts. But this young student just punched casually, and it looked like this. Brake. On the usually quiet lane, another black commercial vehicle suddenly braked and stopped behind the taxi. Since then, there have been two commercial vehicles in the lane, one in front and one behind, and it seems that they have surrounded the taxi and Chu Wei and others. Bang! The door of the business car at the back opened, and 4 or 5 people in black clothes and sunglasses walked out of the car. They all held spiritual rifles in their hands, and their faces were full of murderous intent. Oh my God, the driver next to Chu Wei's legs softened and he almost lost his balance. Chu Wei looked at these men in black. Chu Wei had seen 2 of them when he left Linhai City. They really followed him. Chu Wei, you can't escape today, Zhou Yun, one of the men in black, said. At the same time, the spiritual rifles in the hands of several men in black pointed at Chu Wei, and there was a possibility that several holes would appear in Chu Wei's body in the next second. You are from the Lu family, right? Chu Wei asked lightly. You are going to die anyway, so it's okay to tell you. We are from the Lu family. Remember, don't offend our Lu family in the next life, Zhou Yun snorted coldly. Haha, Chu Wei smiled faintly, you guys are just a bunch of idiots, you want to kill me. You guys think too highly of yourself. Chu Wei didn't even need to look, none of these black-clothed men could really fight him. They can't kill you, but for our Xylo double killers, you, Chu Wei, are just another idiot. A faint mocking voice came from the commercial vehicle that Chu Wei had punched away before. Then he saw a black-clothed man with a spiritual pistol walk down from the driver's seat. After he got out of the car, he came to the rear door and respectfully stretched out his hand to open the door. Then, 2 old men in flowery clothes and white hair walked out of the car. Super God System becomes infinitely stronger. Author, Shu Xiangzike. Chapter 350. The old man looked very fierce, with a beard like a lion, straight. One of the old men, who did, clenched his fist and said to Chu Wei, an awakener at level 3, a student of the Imperial Capital Academy, is a genius. However, he is actually a salted fish. The Lu family actually asked us to send out the 2 killers from Xylo together. I really don't know what the Lu family thinks. Crack, Hu De clenched his fist, and a violent spiritual energy wave spread like ripples around. For a salted fish like this, Hu De, can do it alone. Hu De's spiritual energy wave instantly enveloped everyone at the scene. It's the spiritual energy wave of the Awakener at level 9, Zhou Yun, the man in black, was shocked. This pressure made him, who had just reached the Awakener level, feel faster and breathe faster. The same was true for the several men in black clothes and sunglasses around him, and their breathing seemed to pause for a while. Plop. This was the sound of kneeling. Please, please don't kill me, it was the driver next to Chu Wei who knelt down in fear. Ha 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 ha. Hu De laughed and looked at the driver and said, the way you kneel down is really surprising and happy, but, you still have to die. Please, please don't kill me, I have an 80-year-old mother and several children. If I die, how can they live? The driver kowtowed and begged. Looking at the driver's humble appearance, Hu De laughed again. This time, another old man next to him, Hu Tian, also had a disdainful smile on his face. Weak people will always have to kneel down and beg for mercy. And the few men in black clothes and sunglasses who surrounded Chu Wei in front also had cruel smiles on their faces. They are all frequent killers, so how could they care about the life of a driver? Kill him, just like stepping on an ant. And Zhou Yun, one of the men in black, looked at Chu Wei with disdain, thinking, Chu Wei, I'm afraid you don't know who the Xylo double killer in front of you is. Xylo double killer. 2 professional killers who have committed countless crimes in Linhai City and Jushi City are known to be invincible below the Great Awakener realm. The 2 of them are most famous for their cruelty. Every time they kill someone, no matter who the other party is, whether the other party is an old man or a child. Even if it is just a baby, they will not hesitate to kill the opponent with the most cruel means. It can be said that the Lu family invited them this time, and Chu Wei, who is in the Awakener realm, is dead today. Chu Wei showed a disdainful smile at the corner of his mouth. They are two overconfident people. However, the driver next to Chu Wei was frightened and pale, and kept kowtowed. He turned his head and said to Chu Wei, "Hey, classmate, you should kneel down quickly, let's beg them together, beg them to let us go. We give them all our money, maybe they can let us go." Chu Wei said disdainfully and lightly, "Get up, I promise you won't die." The driver was shocked, and the people around him were also shocked. How can Chu Wei still be so calm? You are so stubborn, Chu Wei. You are the first person who dares to speak like this in front of Hu Di, a level 3 awakener, Hu Di said.